Hey, welcome to the 5th episode of Super Switch Heads, the best Nintendo podcast on the World Wide Web. In this episode, we are talking about some news and rumors, like the Pokemon Direct, as well as some ideas about that, Switch being 2 years old, Persona 5S, as well as some Daddy Sakurai interviews that happened. Then we'll go over to our episode focus, which is all about the new Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield, and then, as always, discuss what are we playing. Hey, everyone.
Hey.
Hello.
What's your name?
Hey,
Hi.
my name is Matthew Stoner. Thank you for joining us.
My name is David Howe.
I'm Patrick Nisley.
And we have a very special guest in here today to talk all this great Pokemon news. We got Robert Moses here in the
Thank
studio.
you.
How's it going, Rob?
Pretty good.
You feeling good?
Yeah.
Hell
Pretty
yeah,
good.
dude.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a
everybody
fun
loves
Can't wait.
your steering wheels and clap for Rob.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to see all your hands off the steering wheels. I want to see some swerves, baby. Before we get started, I wanted to just give a quick shout out to YouTube user Krakow, who has been commenting on pretty much all our videos that we've put up on YouTube so far. Mostly asking for us to cover Pokemon speculation. So you're in for a treat tonight, buddy. Also, what did he say on the last episode? He wanted to say that he really enjoyed Kirby Star Allies.
Oh, okay.
And was like, for a casual game, it's actually pretty good, and I can't disagree
was.
with that. Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah, you liked it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a pretty
Sounds
good
chill.
one. And we also got we should also give a shout out to Baby Snakes, aka Austin, who's laying down sweet feedback every single episode.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Thanks, Austin.
Baby Snakes.
Yeah.
And hey, if you guys are liking what you're hearing and you have any questions for us, we'd love to take your questions and at the end of the show answer some of those questions. So feel free to drop us a line on Twitter, our Facebook page, or on our Discord if you'd like.
Yeah.
Or send us an email, right?
An email, yeah. superswitchheads@gmail. Cool. Yeah. Well, so the real big news this week was, of course, the Pokemon Direct that happened on February 27th. And we're going to get into that in great detail, but that'll be our main focus this week. So we'll talk about some other things first. Save it. So yeah, we talked about last week. The Switch has had its 2-year birthday anniversary, whatever you prefer, on March 3rd. And then it's been reported that the Switch is the fastest selling console of this generation, which is also kind of weird to me because what does this generation mean for the Switch?
Is that just the Xbox One X?
Xbox One and PS4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
I know,
assume
but
so.
it's going to kind of be an intergenerational thing, I think.
Yeah.
So, and
Also,
it's-
all cell phones.
Yeah. Right. It just is. I get it. It's the fastest selling console between the PS4 and the Xbox One, but it just kind of seems like a funny stat to call it.
In
the
terms
same.
of like software sales, I remember that was an article that was on like Business Insider. It said Nintendo had like 8 of the top 25 software sales.
Yeah, they've been dominating software sales in 2018. I mean, none of that's surprising because it's new compared to all those consoles, but
Yeah.
it is
But it's
meaningful.
talking about it's throughout the entire
Right.
generation, right?
Yeah, well,
so it's like
the hardware sales,
which
yes.
is pretty crazy because PS4s were selling like hotcakes. Even this past year, like with the Spider-Man bundle, like they were selling really a lot.
I didn't
over,
mean to
Black
downplay
Friday.
it, you guys. I'm sorry.
Hey man, this is a Nintendo podcast. We gotta get
We gotta
excited.
hype it up. Yeah, so that's cool. I mean, we talked about a lot of that last week, so but it's cool to see that statistic. So then we've got another bit of leaker news, and as I always like to complain, I don't know how you say this, Mr. Oya, Ohya, OHYA, Mr. Jared Oya on Twitter.
Jared Oya.
Twitter has been tweeting that Persona 5S is definitely coming to the Switch this fall, and that we will have some sort of announcement about it before May, e.g. April, right? I mean,
Yeah. Well, that makes sense because that's
Right.
the kind of Persona 5 anniversary, right, of that game coming out and that's also when we're supposed to hear
And that's the character that's coming to Smash, right?
right, Joker, from Persona
then
5.
it's probably definitely going to happen.
I
I don't
feel
know
like
that
it's an inevitability.
I don't know what that game is, and I'm like, oh yeah, probably.
it seems likely with Joker and Smash coming
Yeah.
out in April, and this. So I don't know if this person really has knowledge or it's just saying stuff that seems obvious, but just another interesting piece of news that we've heard.
Have you played any of the Persona games, Rob?
No,
Have
never.
you ever seen any of them?
That Smash trailer. that was the first time.
Do you have any interest in the series or anything like that?
Not really. I'd watch someone play it and ooh and ah, and then
yeah.
maybe then, but until then, probably no. There's way too much stuff to play.
Wait, David, have you played it?
No, I haven't played it either, but I've got a lot of interest in it. I keep like hearing that it's a really great, fun series that you can sink like a ton of time into. It's kind of like one of those like Japanese like high school simulators, but like with a bunch of like evil spirits attached to it. Anyway, it's supposed to be like one of the best RPGs of all time, is what I've heard about Persona 5, and it's like definitely the best Persona game. So I'm
Sounds
kind of
like
excited.
we're all picking it up
I think
when
I'm gonna
it comes
pick
out
up.
to the Switch.
Yeah. Well,
If I could put down Mario Maker, I'll pick it up.
Valid point.
they've been keeping Joker under wraps really too, which makes me wonder if there's something to do with that game. You know, that they're holding back on, like part of whatever makes it S. You know, if Joker in the game has something to do with the stuff that's new.
Well, because
or what
Persona
have you.
5R is still coming as well, which is like, I guess, just like a remaster for the PS4, or is that what it's supposed to be?
Yeah, I think they. So my understanding about these Persona games, again, none of us have played it, so this is probably we should shut up. But
we should have had some.
They
Persona
released
expert.
the game, and then they released these sort of special editions with additional content and stuff.
Right.
And I'm not sure what will be in R or S, or if anybody knows about S. But speaking about Smash, there was another interview with Sakurai. Nintendo Everything did the translation. It was in a Japanese. It was Nintendo Dream that he did the interview with, and
The 300th issue apparently.
yeah, good for them.
Going strong.
So he talked about a couple interesting things, in particular about his health, which everybody knows he's kind of a hard worker and drives himself to illness by how hard he works. Did you guys read or skim through any of that translation?
Yeah, I read the whole interview. It's pretty hardcore, man. Like, because he's been known in the past to have like severe arthritis, like in his hands, and then it's like playing Smash and balancing everything so much just really exacerbates that. And he's like super workaholic. But yeah, this got even more into it, right?
Yeah. My favorite part was that he's like, this time with Smash Ultimate, they asked him like, did you push yourself to the limit? He's like, no, I made sure and went home by 10 p.m. every night. 10 fucking p.m. is like ridiculous. Yeah. He didn't say when he started, but you presume it's, in the early hours.
Well, it's funny too, because he's a contractor, right? Like he's not a Nintendo employee.
Yeah.
Like he works for his own company and then works, he is contracted out with Nintendo. And he even talks about it in the interview. He's like, yeah, really basically at the end of the day, I could just come in for 6 hours a week as long as the game gets done on time, but that's not how I roll, and I get really passionate about it. I know he was saying like he had a bunch of stomach issues.
Yeah, Matt, did you pointed that out, the IV stuff?
Yeah, he had an IV drip when he was just sick.
Yeah, he had food poisoning and kept working with an IV.
How do you request that? Is that like a form online you get from facilities?
Yeah, I don't know how you can just get your own IV.
So basically, Smash is going to kill Sakurai at some point, and that's something that we're just going to have to come to terms with.
I will cry.
Well, he said in the interview too that Smash has essentially become his life's work, which is something that he didn't really. Because after every single Smash game, he's always like, "This is gonna be my last Smash game." He's like he said he's been saying that since Brawl. He was like, well, "This is gonna be the last one I do," and then he did. He did both the 3DS and the Wii U and this Switch one now, and it's like, he made it sound like he's not done making Smash games. You know what I mean? Like
it sounds like Miyazaki saying that's his last animated film.
Exactly. Yeah, they should probably team up.
That'd be incredible.
Yeah,
I would love to see Totoro in Smash.
Yes, dude. I just watched that movie last night. Actually,
It's so good.
It's a good movie.
It's so chill.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that take care of yourself, Sakurai. Hopefully your load is lessened a little bit with the DLC fighters. Not quite as much to do.
Knock that 10 p.m. back a little bit and go home and get some rest. Jeez.
Hey, man. But also keep doing what you're doing because these games are awesome.
One other quick piece of news that just kind of seemed to drop today. Tarak, the old N64 game, is gonna have a port over to the Switch.
Yeah.
Coming like in a week or two. I don't have the
Patrick,
date
you
in front
mean
of me.
Turok the dinosaur hunter.
Yeah, sorry.
Not Tarak, Monopoly.
Yeah.
Which is another popular game.
I had an N64 and I rented this game a couple times, and I don't think I ever beat the first level.
Me
It's
either.
a really fucking hard game. Did you guys ever play it?
I played the shit ton of this because this is a game that came out. It was an N64 launch title.
That's
Yes.
right.
And I had 2 games, Mario 64 and KI Gold for N64. And I rented this game so many times.
KI Gold?
Killer Instinct.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
Killer Instinct.
Your abbreviation
Sorry,
threw me off for a
yeah,
second. With the
KI.
gold especially, but yeah.
That's the insider term for Killer Instinct Heads.
I played a lot of Killer Instinct, but I didn't call it KI.
Yeah, Turok is a fun game.
Yeah.
Is this the first N64 game on the Switch?
Oh, that's a great question. The first one I know
might
of,
be.
the first one of any note that I've heard of.
Yeah. I know it's like a port because they made a port for Xbox and PS4
It's
of
not-
the N64
Yeah,
game.
it's not the exact N64 game. I understand it has a few changes for the better, though I don't think it's like substantial. It still looks similar and so on, and I don't have all that info in front of me, but that's my understanding. So,
Yeah.
And that's I don't have the date in front of me, but it's like only in a week or two.
Yeah,
so
I think it's the 18th. It's coming
if you
out.
were really into Turok or you want to give it a shot, you have a chance. real soon.
Apparently, Turok 2 is also supposed to come.
Okay.
Like another kind of Discord leak from one of the creators. Basically, they were like, "Yep, Turok 2 is coming as well," and that's coming out also for Xbox and PS4. So both those games should be out, which I think it's cool that we finally have. With like these Final Fantasy games now and these Turok games, like we've got PlayStation and N64 games on the Switch.
Wow, but
Hopefully,
like 20 years later.
yeah. It's taken a while.
Yeah.
This is the world that we live in when we don't
Yeah.
have a virtual console.
All I remember about Turok are the jump scares, which were amazing.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
never actually played it. I had a cousin that had the game, and I like came in his room and was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And he's just playing this game, and then the dinosaur, like a velociraptor, just jumped out the window, and I was like, "Ah, okay, yeah,
Yeah, because
that's great. I don't want to play this."
Yeah, the N64 had a really low memory, and so the draw distance was really
yeah.
short. So
Yeah,
there's
a
like
bunch of-
lots of this like gray fog.
Fog everywhere
just,
in that
just
game.
everywhere, and so you'd get these jump scares when a fucking raptor.
Well,
comes out of
now
nowhere.
apparently, like I saw some footage of the redo that they're doing, no fog, because you can actually do draw distance now. So I wonder if the game is going to be a lot less scary for you now, Robert. It might be worth picking up.
I wanted to stay that scary. Like that's why I remember it. If it wasn't for that, I
So
wouldn't
maybe
even
there's a
remember
fog
that. Yeah.
slider in the set.
Yeah, it'd be better than that Silent Hill port,
Another something for you guys out there. All the Ubisoft games are on sale right now, like all of them. So if you want to, on the eShop, so if you want any of those games digitally, and there are some good ones like Mario and Rabbids, Starlink, Rayman Legends, Child of Light, Valiant Hearts, or if you're into Just Dance or something, I mean, it's a really good chance to pick up all those games on the cheap. Like most of them are 50% off or
Yeah.
give or take.
I checked it out. I think Rayman Legends is like 16 bucks,
Yeah, like 16
which is
bucks.
an insane price for that game. Like, have you guys played that game, Rayman Legends?
I bought it when it was on sale for $20, and
Yeah.
I've only played like an hour or two, and I'm like, damn, I
Man.
should have waited. But that's true about Ubisoft games. Never buy an Ubisoft game full price. They seem to go on sale.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Ubisoft like loves Nintendo. They put their games on sale all the time. But Rayman Legends, I have almost 100% of that game. I love that game. Like,
It's like one of the best platformers, right?
yeah, it's super, super fun. Really, really fluid. It's also got a great co-op. Honestly, I think it's more fun than like New Super Mario Brothers U. Because it's like the levels are beautiful. It's got this like great hand-drawn style, and it's just like really fast-paced, right? Like any games that give you the kind of like glide down after you run and jump. Like I love those kinds of games. And you
that's
can
so
like
fun.
wall run and all this fun stuff. Really great game. I recommend it.
Speaking of Ubisoft, some business stuff. I read this morning, maybe it was on Polygon, that Vivendi is selling their stake in Ubisoft. They had like 25% stake in Ubisoft. They're selling it back to Ubisoft. There's this fear that they would buy Ubisoft and Vivendi. If you don't know, they're like a French conglomerate. They own tons of shit, like Universal Media Group, tons of music, tons of movies. It's just like a huge ass conglomerate. And that usually when large companies take over a game publisher that's great, such as Ubisoft, we get less than stellar games.
Or they just kill them if they're EA.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They'll just kill studios.
Like all the Star Wars franchise for
Yeah,
any EA game. But this makes me want to speculate. This says with Ubisoft owning more control of their company, maybe we'll get some more Switch Or Nintendo franchises
Like
coming
exclusives
from
and stuff? That'd be
Ubisoft.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would not be surprised. Like,
That'd
what
be
do they
cool
have
stuff.
right now? They've got Mario with Mario and Rabbids. They've
Star
got
Fox
Star
and
Fox with
Starlink.
Starlink. What other games do you think?
The only thing I think of with Ubisoft is Prince of Persia, that first one.
Oh yeah.
And I love that game so much. I know it has nothing to do with Switch, but
No.
I've seen crazier things happen on Switch.
Yeah.
So
What could they cross over with Prince of Persia if they're gonna do like Mario and Rabbids?
Waluigi skin. I'm gonna
That's your answer for everything.
yeah, give me a Waluigi skin in Sands of Time, and then put Waluigi in Assassin's Creed.
Oh, dude, they should just make because there isn't a Waluigi game yet. Like he's just in like sports and party games, right?
Yeah.
They should do a game where it's like Waluigi, but like you could do that rewind mechanic. Like that would be tight, right? You could like
and he
wall
just
run.
goes, wow.
Yeah. It's like wow. Well,
All right, guys.
All right, moving on. Keep us
It's
on
a-
task.
So there's been a couple updates that we just found out about tonight, actually, for Switch Online. The couple new NES games for those of us here. It's Star Tropics and Kid Icarus, and apparently Japan is getting the Fire Emblem game.
the original Fire Emblem, yeah.
So that's kind of cool. Unfortunately, we don't get it, but I guess we get Star Tropics this time, and they don't. Finally, North America gets something that
Eat it,
Japan
Japan.
doesn't.
Have you played Star Tropics?
I've never played it. It's one of those games I've heard a lot about. So I'm definitely gonna at least, which I kind of do with every NES game when they add it. I go mess around for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You know.
I've played Tetris 99 way more than any of those NES games.
Yeah.
But yeah, Star Tropics is a great game. If you like the original Legend of Zelda, it's very much based off of that. This was kind of actually a Nintendo of America joint. Like this was a game that was made for the Americas, and it was a lot of the developers were like picked up by like NOA like employees. They kind of like picked the development team. And so it's like got this great kind of feel like you're this 90s kid with and your main weapon is like a yo-yo and it's like
Okay.
yeah, it's awesome. And it's like it's Zelda, but it's way more kind of platformy and like action based, even though it's still that same top down thing. Lots of like weird platformy puzzles. Really great game.
So
I
it's a
recommend
combination of Legend of Zelda and Noid for NES.
I'm gonna take your word on that, but that sounds about
Oh, you
right.
never played the Domino's Pizza game?
Avoid the
Noid?
Noid. Yeah, I remember that.
I'm aware of the Noid, but I've avoided him most of my life.
Zing. All right.
We got one more thing with
yeah.
the Switch Online as well.
Yeah, talk to us about that.
So I've been playing a shit ton of Tetris 99, so I'm very excited about this. I want to just take this moment to brag that I've now placed first place 3 times in Tetris 99.
Congrats.
Yes, clap for David, everybody.
Rob is doing the
Congratulations.
slowest possible clap you could ever do.
Slow clap. Take your hands off the wheel and slow clap for David.
But yeah, this dropped like right before we started recording. There's going to be a Maximus Cup that's starting, I think, later this week.
Well, tell us about
So
it.
they were telling us there'd be events, so I guess this is our first event.
Right. So basically what it is if you win like a Victory Royale or whatever they call it in Tetris 99, you get a screen that says Maximus or whatever during this period that it's going on. And the top 999 players that have the most wins over the course of this tournament will be getting 999 gold eShop points, right? So if you're good at Tetris 99, I guess don't stop playing over the entirety of this time
Yeah.
because you're going to be wanting to
Get your
get as many
free
wins as you can.
$9.99.
So, like other battle royale games, this is like the equivalent of like a season.
Yeah, I guess so.
And Tetris
Something
99.
like that, kind of.
Right.
We'll see how if they continue to do these kind of events and how long they last and
Yeah.
if they keep giving out money.
It's funny how in Fortnite you have to like pay $10 to unlock all this stuff, and in Tetris 99, if you win a bunch, they give you $10.
You gotta pay $20 a year, and that's about it.
Yeah, that's worth it to me, man. It's a fun
Yeah.
game.
It is.
I wish I liked it, but I have an irrational hatred of Tetris.
Oh, really?
My sister, who's like 10 years older than me, I'd play with her, and she was like amazing, and I would just get destroyed all the time. So
So you played like competitive multiplayer Tetris with her?
or just like taking turns. I don't know.
Right,
but
right.
I only know is I hate the game.
And we have your sister to thank for that. All right.
Well,
you
it's
for your
definitely
honesty.
not a game for people who hate Tetris.
I know the game's not bad. I just hate losing, and I did it a lot.
I'm finally getting the strategy down, I think. You know what I mean? Like switching between attackers and KOs. Like, it took me a really long time to kind of figure that out. I had to like watch a couple people on YouTube play the game, but I think I'm finally decent at the game. It's taken a while.
Cool. Well, let's move on to talking about Pokemon.
Yeah.
So let's start. So with the name, they revealed that there's going to be Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. How do you guys feel about those names? Okay.
I guess we ran out of gems, so
Yeah.
We're out
Okay.
of colors and
Primary colors.
Yeah.
there was Sun and Moon, right? And
Oh,
that
yeah, Sun and Moon, yeah.
that sorta has a feel similar
Yeah.
to colors and stuff.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
there's an image going around right now of it's Pokemon Sun or Pokemon Sword, Pokemon Shield, and Pokemon Gun. Which
that
was actually
maybe
picked
third
up
one.
by a couple publications, like used that image and talking about it. But yeah, it's okay. I mean, it kind of fits with the theme, right?
Right. And yeah, so we can jump ahead to that. I guess it's set in a region that's kind of based on the UK called Galar, is that correct?
Yeah, the
I'm
Galar
pronouncing it
region.
Galar.
Right.
So that makes sense, right? They're going for that sort of UK feel.
Mm-hmm.
My understanding is the map. Have y'all studied the map at all or looked at it closely?
Yeah.
It's sort of like the UK inverted or something.
Yeah, it's like upside
Well,
down.
I heard it looks like Westeros because I think Westeros is based on the UK
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they're going for a sort of medieval feel with the names and the and that kind of thing. Though there's like an industrial feel to it too.
There's like a wall, like the wall in Westeros.
Right before all the mountains,
Right before all the
all
snow and
yeah.
everything. Yeah. Looks pretty cool.
So, well, let's talk about how it looks. Yeah, the graphics. How do you guys feel about the graphics after seeing? And now, of course, that's it's not a final gameplay trailer, but it's not going to be like much
looking pretty
different.
close.
Yeah.
you know?
It looks pretty great.
You
That
guys
was
like
the
it?
most, amazing thing about the whole thing was like, wow, this is a full console Pokemon game. And I like it because I was not planning on buying another 3DS
Right.
or whatever thing. I was like, it needs to go to the new console, especially now because it is portable. And they did it. So, yeah, it looks great.
And it looks way better than Pokemon Let's Go too. There's like a lot more
think
detail,
so?
a lot more color. Yeah.
It feels like less shiny than Go.
Yeah.
Let's Go.
For sure. Yeah.
Like-
Well, Pokemon Go just looked like Pokemon Let's Go just looked like Pokemon Go to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was very similar shading, and especially like the capture screen was exactly the same as Pokemon Go, so it's good that they actually put a little bit of work into it.
Cool.
I'm digging the colors. Like it's got this kind of fun, like autumnal sort of look to it.
It does seem colorful. I know some people are critical that the graphics could be even better, right? I mean, but hey, I guess it's a positive step in the right direction.
I think we're gonna be seeing this with a lot of games going forward. Like the new Link's Awakening also kind of looks just like a high definition 3DS game. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
I think that we're going to start to see more developers specifically developing games for the portable side of the Switch.
Right.
I feel like this and Link's Awakening are like portable games that you can also play on your TV rather than like home console games that you can play on the go,
It
Yeah.
will be wild one day if we get a new Pokemon game for the Switch, maybe 3 or 4 years down the line, 5 years, whatever it being, and it looks like Detective Pikachu, where it's all like photorealistic.
Let's wait for a Switch revision on that one.
I that would be intense, but like,
Yeah, that
I
would
think
be strange.
The counter argument would be that like it's cartoony graphics, I guess. So we can accept but worse graphics typically with cartoony graphics, but like it still is it's not quite as cartoony as like Link's Awakening. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, it doesn't have like the clay feel.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't have any dog in the hunt. I'm just trying to be the antagonist here because you guys are all like, it looks great.
Yeah, I think it looks great. I'm really happy with it.
So another thing I hear some people pining for is sort of like a free camera, But this in the trailer, what do you guys think? Do you think there's some debate? Did it look like it's a locked camera, top down to y'all, or did it look like you could move the camera around? Any thoughts on that?
No, not really.
Yeah, I couldn't tell that maybe there's certain areas where it is fixed and that you can like control it. So maybe like towns where you could like look around and explore. But maybe in landscape when you're out in the woods exploring and having adventures.
I don't know. I feel like if they do allow you camera control, it's going to be limited, almost kind of
Yeah.
like Mario and Rabbids, how it's like it would kind of stop you from looking too
Yeah.
far in any one direction.
Lego City Undercover is like that, and it's frustrating as hell.
Yeah,
But, yeah.
I mean, I think the camera kind of spins around them at one
Right,
point.
and I think that's the reason some people are like, maybe it isn't a fixed camera, maybe because they do, in 2 times in the trailer, I think, spin around a character like that, but that could totally be cinematic.
or like an
trailer.
idle animation, like maybe if you just sit there for a while, the camera kind of spins around you.
I think the thing we have to always accept about Pokemon and a lot of Nintendo properties is that they're being made not strictly for adults. They're trying to ride that line of making games for kids and adults, because we're in that weird time now where you've got equal fandom. And so, like, it's watching my 4-year-old try to play a game that's in 3D, and he can't use a second stick. You know what I mean? And like, so I think I'm curious to see if they do implement some sort of camera controls for that reason. That's something they have to deal with.
Yeah. Rob, have any of the previous Pokemons had camera controls, or has it always been locked down?
I believe they've all been locked. Don't remember ever changing my perspective. Now that I thought about it, though, that'd be pretty great to find items you wouldn't see if you just kept it flat.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
returned it. That would be pretty awesome. I would
Yeah.
like that.
Well, because there was that sort of rumor going around. It's gonna be like the Breath of the Wild update to Pokemon
It's
or whatever.
not quite.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it graphically, and it doesn't look like it in terms of mechanic. I mean, it's still early. They
Yeah.
could be showing us what they're showing us and then save a bunch of things, but probably it's not going to be
Right.
that
Yeah.
breakthrough.
I think they leapt ahead, and that's all they needed. They need to
Yeah.
like just skyrocket above everything else, and where it's like not even recognizable anymore.
Yeah, I don't think it's also necessarily a bad thing that Pokemon is not like iterating in a huge leap like to Breath of the Wild. You know what I mean? It's like I'm gonna be just like I didn't play Sun and Moon or Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. I think the last ones I played were X and Y. And so it's like for me, this is going to be a new experience because I've already skipped a couple generations, right?
Right.
And so I'm totally fine with him going back to basics on this one because it's going to be like me going back, you know. But I can get some people's frustrations, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the same thing as like writing that line between making games for both kids and adults is making games for people that want you to innovate and want you to stick to the formula, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a tough. What do you do? You know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that kind of a little bit segues into this next bit that you're talking about with like what they did and didn't take from Let's Go, right?
Yeah. So one thing that not everybody, but a lot of people liked in the Let's Go games is that you could see the Pokemon in the wild, and there wasn't random encounters. Did you guys want that to be in this game? Because it doesn't look like it is, but you never know.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
Not really. I did like that you could see them in the wild, but they're so big that it doesn't really look that natural.
That's
so-
true. That's a good counterpoint.
Yeah.
I've not heard anybody make.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they're not. That's not going to be in there. That's also fine too. You know, I'm glad Let's Go was its own separate game. Where they're like, let's try these weird things. Didn't work. Well, oh well. It's not like it's stuck here forever.
Yeah, that's a
but
good point.
this one, no. Let's just keep it the way it is. I personally hope Z moves are gone. I don't know if that's gonna happen or not. I played Sun and Ultra Sun. They were okay, but I absolutely hated the Z moves.
What did you hate about them?
I played through the whole game and like used it once because I remembered. I was like, "Oh right, Z moves, right."
So-
But-
So it didn't really have an effect on the gameplay.
no,
Yeah.
I was getting through the fights like no problem, and even when other people use their Z moves on me, I was like, "Oh no, like you use that, well, I'm still gonna kill you," you know, because I have a plan and everything. It just really felt like just this add-on thing to just do, and then they basically stopped doing Mega Evolutions for it, and I'm like, I really enjoyed the Mega Evolutions. That was a really cool aspect to like make me go back to these old things I used to care about when I was younger. And the Z move's doing nothing for it. I think it was really more for the new generation, and I'm like, that's fine, but
to kind of simplify the game a little bit.
yeah, but I'm like, yeah, I hate it. I'm saying hate a lot. I'm
Could
gonna
you
try not to say
explain
that.
like what a Z move is?
Right? Yeah,
Those of
it's-
us that
you
didn't play.
you're like in the middle of a match and you need like a really strong move to go off. So your trainer does this dance move with their arms, like, and depending on the type your Pokemon is, it's going to be a different like dance, and somehow that energy goes to your Pokemon and makes them do this super amazing move that's not in their moveset.
Okay.
And it looks very cool.
Tell me again why you don't love this.
Yeah, it makes no sense
Yeah,
at all.
that sounds
It's just
wild.
it's such a gimmick. And
It sounds kind of like a summon in Final Fantasy or something.
Yeah.
like that.
But they're not overpowered, is what you're saying too. Even when people
Oh,
use.
I think the move is like very powerful, but it's not necessary at all. Like I
Right.
can still win these battles even if the other person always uses it, I don't even need to. It was just
Gotcha.
That's what would remind me when they use theirs. I was like, right, that's a thing in this game. But Mega Evolution, no, I look for any chance to use it so I could just look at this cool, like, that's exactly what I would do if I like made this Pokemon go further. It was like, it kind of made it like Digimon, just like constantly going up and down the evolution scale and stuff. I don't know. It was way more enjoyable than whatever the hell a Z move is.
I imagine there's going to be some sort of gimmick to kind of take its place. Like, it might not be the same thing, but I know, like, for instance, like, there seems to be some sort of weird sports theme going on in this game, you know? And it's like,
let's talk about that. Like, at the end, it looks like they're walking into, like, almost like again, maybe UK-based soccer stadium.
yeah, football. As they say in England.
Yeah,
as they say in England,
football.
But yeah, I mean, he's like, yeah, and he's like wearing a jersey and everything, and it's like people have said that the Score Bunny kind of looks very much like an athlete. You know, he's got the bandage over his nose, like the kind of anime trope for athletes, you know. And so it's like I imagine there's going to be kind of something kind of sports related with this.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about that. I mean, because I don't know, or those could just be like big battles or something, but but it's hard to say. It does give you that vibe right now. I don't know how they'd integrate soccer or football as they call it over there.
I definitely want to talk about starters, by the way. Just
Sure.
see how we all like
We're
starters.
getting there, right?
Well, let's do it. Will you bring it up? So yeah, we got to see the 3 starters of Score Bunny, the Fire Rabbit, Sobble, the water chameleon lizard thing,
So cute. So
and
cute. So
Grookey,
sad.
the grass monkey thing.
Yeah.
How did you all feel about those, Robert? How did you feel?
I didn't dislike any of them too hard, but it was like
Good bear.
yeah. There's been other times where I'm like, oh, what is that? But no, they were all great. I thought the water one got a little gypped for just being like, I don't know, just make it a tadpole or something.
I think it's like a iguana, or it's a chameleon.
Like a chameleon
it's
to me,
because he like
but-
blends in.
But it
yeah.
kind of does look like sort of a generic lizard chameleon.
He's got the little chameleon hands. Yeah.
I'm liking the monkey because like there were these 3 elemental monkeys in one of the past games that didn't really go anywhere.
Right,
and this
right,
is
right.
like, okay, we're gonna do that again, but this is gonna actually look really cool when it fully evolves. So
Is that who you're gonna start with?
no, I'm probably gonna start with the water one. I'm a water Pokemon user, like always. They're the most useful, and I'm probably gonna still go with that. But I don't know if I'll even get the game, honestly. Like, no, not because I'm not like into them. It's just because there's so many games for the Switch right now.
That's true.
Like,
true.
And there's a lot coming out.
It's
at
going to
end
the back of the
year.
list.
Yeah.
And because of like Ultra Sun, like I did the thing I always do where beat the 8 gyms, beat the Elite Four, and I'm done.
Yeah.
Like since like maybe the 3rd or 4th generation, I have not gone past that at all.
Well, I think the difference here is that like everybody is going to own this game, you know. So I think the online. I think the online is going to be really fun for this because I didn't buy Let's Go, but I had major FOMO whenever Let's Go came out because I would go to my friends list and just all my friends were playing Let's Go, and I'm like, man, I bet this would be pretty fun to play online. And I hovered my finger over the purchase button multiple times and never did it. I actually ended up buying the game for my sister for Christmas physically, and then I just like played it for a little bit before I gave it to her. And I'm glad I didn't get it personally.
Why is this
but,
box open? No.
I told her I leveled with her, and she wasn't too upset. It's not like I scratched the disc or anything. It's like a cartridge.
I wanted those Joy-Cons hard.
Yeah, the Joy-Cons look nice. Those Eevee and
Pikachu
Joy-Cons.
yellow and Eevee brown. Like
Yeah,
I talked about them for quite a while until like I was finally able to let it go. But I was like, because I saw like how much the set was, and I was like, okay, no. But
Yeah.
I was like, maybe on eBay someone will be selling them because
Yeah, like Play Asia or something.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't want to buy the old color neon colors. These look so like fucking hot, but no, unfortunately not.
What were we just talking about?
We were talking about the starters.
Pokemon.
Right. Well,
Oh yeah,
Basically, what I was saying with that is like, I just feel like the amount of people. Let's Go sold like over 10 million copies, right? And it's like a remake of Yellow, and it's super gimped, and it's basically, it really felt to me like you're playing Pokemon Go in Kanto, right? Like that's what it felt like, that game to me. But it's still sold like crazy. I think this game's going to sell like, I think it's going to sell at least double like what Let's Go did. I think everybody's really hyped about this game. I think everybody's going to be playing it. I think that's more than enough reason to get it, just because like the battling is the fun part of Pokemon, right? And if you can kind of elongate the length of the game by playing with your friends, I think that could be fun.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But as far as I'm concerned, I like all of them, the starters. I was a little like in the trailer, they kind of looked very samey to me. They all kind of have round heads and big eyes, and they kind of look the same. Personally, I think I'm kind of leaning towards grass monkey, that funky monkey. But I don't know. But just because he looks cute. But I think I'm going to have to see their final evolutions before I really pick, you know? Because
I
don't
can't
want
wait to look at all the different things people think it's going to be. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's so much fun. And then like
I
2
was
months from
just
now, we'll see
look-
them.
Right.
I was
well,
just
actually
looking
see
on like mocks of what it would be, and like Sobble's next evolution was called Weeple. Sobble just gets sadder and sadder.
Depressal.
Morning, MOURN.
I think that there should just be a depressed type of Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like a depressed type Pokemon.
I mean, like Mimikyu is basically
They're
depressed.
probably, I think there is a depression Pokemon.
but anyway, it's like I didn't pick Pokemon. You know, I didn't pick Squirtle because I like Squirtle. I picked Squirtle because I fucking wanted Blastoise. You know what I mean? Like when I was a kid, I was like, man, Blastoise looks dope. Yeah. And so I'm gonna kind of wait and see. Because, you know, maybe Sobble turns into like a super swole, like daddy Pokemon. You know? Like at that point, maybe I'm into it.
Patrick, what about you?
Oh, I don't know. I kind of like Score Bunny because I'm like a positive person, and the like bouncing bunny or whatever speaks to me. What about you, Matt?
Sobble, baby.
Yeah, you're the Sobble boy out of these.
Yeah, I mean, Squirtle's my starter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
always
for me too.
Squirtle
Yeah.
was my starter, definitely.
Yeah.
It was those sick ass glasses in the anime.
Yeah, you're right.
Yo, those, like Squirtle Squad glasses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Squirtle Squad.
Yes.
Fucking tight.
Weren't you Squirtle for Halloween?
Halloween, yeah. I bought
That's
two giant Squirtle costumes for me and my girlfriend. And it was the best. And
There was like a meme of you, or there was like a video of you on Reddit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got really
it
popular.
was on Reddit at my work.
Can you
I'm
explain,
laughing
can you explain the
remembering
video
it.
real quick?
Well,
Try
yeah.
not to laugh.
Yeah, no, I'm wearing this giant Squirtle costume. It's huge. It's like a mascot costume, and I have tiny arms. And I tried to plan to have to badge in to get into work.
Yeah.
So I wrapped my badge around my tiny arms, but I don't have peripheral vision. So I just like swiped at the badge, trying to hope it would scan.
And one of your coworkers is filming this?
I guess, yeah. I didn't know. I can't
Do you
see it.
still not know who filmed that?
I have no idea.
That's so funny.
Yeah. I direct messaged them on Reddit, but I think they thought that I was like security trying to find out who it was.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's
Okay, jumping back to a couple quick things. There are a few other things that happened in the Let's Go games that people were interested in possibly seeing, like the getting rid of wild battles and having Pokemon follow you around and stuff like that. Do you guys miss that or wish that was in this game? I mean, these things could be in the game, but it appears like there's wild battles based on the trailer, and it appears there's no Pokemon following anybody.
I do not care about the Pokemon following you. I'd like ride Pokemon to still be in it. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to have to like teach my Pikachu cut or whatever to like get past trees.
No HM slaves.
Yeah. I'd love to not have to take up an HM slot and like have ride Pokemon. I think that would be cool, but I don't need. I feel like the only reason that the follow Pokemon were in that is because it was a remake of Yellow, right? Where like Pikachu would follow you around.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, I didn't like it once I started playing Let's Go with a friend, because then I immediately remembered every time I tried to go for an item, I would talk to my Pikachu, and he's like, I don't know, I feel kind of like happy, but I'm just not into it. And you're like, I don't care. I wanted to. So yeah, I'm glad that's not back, because it's not super great.
I will say I preferred having the wild Pokemon out there
The
in the
random
wild.
encounters.
Yeah, because it was still difficult to avoid them, right? It was.
Right.
It wasn't
You're gonna
like
run into a Rattata.
right, exactly. It's like when there's a ton on screen, like it kind of made it a little bit like I don't know. I just kind of think random encounters in general, I'm not a huge fan of. You know, and this is the guy who's been playing Final Fantasy. IX
But
for the
you
past
want
3
it in your Pokemon game, or you don't?
No,
want
no.
it?
I prefer that they bring that from Let's Go. You know what I mean? I think that was actually a pretty good mechanic. I get why they're not doing it. Maybe they had already started development on this game like earlier and didn't want to kind of redo the whole thing. But I'd like to see it in a future core generation Pokemon game.
And I get this too. This isn't an original thought I had, but somebody said, well, maybe because we've never seen some of these Pokemon before, so it might take away the surprise of
That's not a bad point.
of seeing
That's a
them.
really good point.
of a wild battle, and all of a sudden there's this new Pokemon you've never seen, as opposed to like what you can kind of get a glimpse of them in the.
So we have only really seen 4 minutes of footage of this game.
Yeah,
too,
we've
and they
nothing.
could be holding things back purposefully, or
Yeah.
just because it's whatever reason to get
Pokemon Company loves that drip feed of information. We'll be getting a few more directs on this for sure.
Well, so based on all of these things that we have talked about and that we saw in the trailer, did you guys? Is there anything that given what we know now, that you would really like to see in the game, or hope isn't in the game, based on all we've seen?
I think I already said mine. The getting rid of Z moves, bringing back in Mega Evolutions. I mean, it's a bunch of new Pokemon, so maybe not, but I would just like to see Z moves to die. Just gone. Move on to something else. Or
Mega Evolutions came from.
Mega was from X and Y,
X and Y,
and then
okay.
Alpha, Sapphire, and Omega Ruby.
Listen, I love any mechanic that's similar to Dragon Ball, and Mega Evolutions is just like Goku going.
I
Ultra
wish they
Instinct.
screamed during their Mega Evolution.
They just say their name over and over.
Yeah. I'd like to see. Do we know if Pokemon Bank? If there's any way, I'd like to see Pokemon Bank out for the Switch. Because I mean, people have been moving their stuff over since like the Game Boy games that are in the Pokemon Bank, right?
Yeah.
So that'd be pretty cool to see that compatible with the new stuff. It'd be cool if you could get all 1,000 or whatever Pokemon are in this game.
I do have
but
a Pokemon Bank.
Yeah.
I've abandoned it, but
I guess you have it on 3DS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great to see it come over to Switch.
Yeah, I think
Pretty awesome.
that'd be cool,
I think it has
especially
to.
for like the legacy players that have been playing for a while. Like I know
Yeah.
I haven't used it in a while, but I think I have a Pokemon Bank as well.
Yeah.
I think I could see a little bit of Go integration. I think like if they brought the same Go integration from Let's Go over, I think that would only help the game. It wouldn't be intrusive. Like if there was like a Go Park or whatever where you could bring your characters over from the
If you can
phone
play
game.
with the Pokeball.
Yeah, the little accessory though. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pokeball.
Oh, also, I'd love to be able to play this game with a Pro Controller, which you can't do with Pokemon Let's Go.
That's true. I can't imagine that won't be.
That would be
Yeah,
fucking
probably,
stupid.
it probably will be.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I like to see some like mini games and just do some new stuff with it. Like, anything. Like if they add in some cool like weird soccer mechanics
thing,
or something, like that could be fun.
Football.
Yeah, football. I think that'd be tight. What about you, Matt?
I don't know much about Pokemon, so I'm not very informed to answer this question. But Mega Evolution sounds really cool.
Because it is.
Well, kind of speaking to that, there was a 4chan leak before the game was announced, like about a month or so before
the direct.
Before the direct, that was a ton of stuff. It got almost everything right. Like it was. So this is pretty much legit. It knew it was going to be called Sword and Shield. It knew it was going to be based in the UK. It called a lot of other stuff as well. I don't have it on me at the moment, but one of the things that they said were going to be in the game was armored evolutions. So I think that's this game's version of Mega Evolutions. So there's like supposed to be like armored Charizard and like armored like all these other kinds of Pokemon. So I think it's like kind of again bringing some of that medieval sort of
Right, that makes sense.
United Kingdom feel
cool.
into it. Yeah. So
I'm cool with that.
yeah, I think it's kind of cool. And so far from what we've seen from the map, like I think the UK setting, at first when I first heard about it, I was like, oh man, that's kind of a little uninspired.
Bland,
I prefer to
or,
see, like maybe like South America or something like a little, a little more interesting. But honestly, like there's so much history and culture to draw from in the United Kingdom that like I feel like they can actually do some pretty dope stuff. And it would be cool because I think it was X and Y. What was that region called in X and Y? Do you remember? But it was like based off France, right? Like there was like the Prism Tower and all that kind of stuff. Like that was kind of based on Paris.
I know they've had one based on France. I didn't know which one it was though.
Yeah. And so, and again, Krakow, correct us if we're wrong. But
Kalos, Kalos.
Yeah, Kalos. That's what it was, the Kalos region. Yeah. So it'd be cool because France and the UK are right next to each other. It'd be cool if you could travel to Kalos in this game.
Oh no.
Yeah,
it'll only be Gold and Silver that did that amazing thing, and no one else will ever.
You don't
do
think
that.
they'd bring it back?
I I don't know why, but I've never seen it, and
People have
it was
been-
so great.
People have been talking about the fact that they show a train in the trailer. So yeah, maybe there's some
Yeah.
sort of train.
Well, there's like
travel.
tracks all over the.
Yeah, and
like,
then when they're in the
Galar region.
mines, there's
Yeah,
tracks and stuff too. So
The Pokemon Twitter account, going back to starter Pokemon, it put out a poll and asked people what they're choosing to start with.
Oh,
And
should we guess?
It's gonna be Score Bunny.
Yeah. Oh, really?
I think it might
I
be
think
Sobble.
I think it's Sobble, dude.
Those are the two
Okay.
that I feel like most,
number 3 with 25% is Grookey.
yeah.
Yeah.
that-
no one
yeah.
likes. No one likes fucking Grookey.
Yeah, that's why I love Grookey.
37% at Score Bunny.
Oh,
Dude,
wow.
Sobble number 1.
38%.
38. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
just-
close.
just
Yeah,
barely.
that's
Yeah.
close. That is
Yeah, I
close.
would
Those are-
definitely do Sobble over Score Bunny.
That's like fear
but-
versus love.
Yeah, it's just like the original started 3. It was like Charmander for everyone mostly, but I was like Squirtle.
Yeah.
Squirtle all the way.
Yeah, because it was for Charizard. And I was like, yeah, he's amazing.
We
but
gotta show
no.
Bulbasaur some love.
Yeah,
Bulbasaur's
well,
good
I have
Pokemon,
that
so-
one friend who chooses Bulbasaur, and I'm just like, what do you
Yeah, everyone has that one friend that chooses Bulbasaur.
Yeah, before we move on to what we've been playing, any other final thoughts or anything else you want to say about Pokemon Sword and Shield?
I thought it was weird that the symbols for Sword and Shield, it was a blue sword with a red shield. I don't know, like red signifies like anger, like attacking almost, and I was just like,
Oh yeah, that is a
yeah,
little weird.
I just thought it was a way of balancing it maybe, but I was just like, blue sword, red shield, huh? Why is that hitting my eye weird? But
I didn't think about
That's about
that.
it.
You're
It's a little
right.
odd.
yeah,
There was one thing that the fire Pokemon starters have all been based off of Chinese zodiac animals. So it was actually hypothesized that this one might be a rabbit for like the year of the rabbit.
yeah.
But they've all been based on, there's been like dragons, there's been there has been
monkey.
an ox, there's been monkey.
A pig,
Yeah,
a
exactly.
boar.
Yeah.
This
So
one's
there's
the
been
rabbit.
so that's kind of cool that they're still sticking with that there's only a few left on the Chinese zodiac calendar, so we can kind of see what the next ones are probably going to be for fire starters anyway.
Wait, Sun and Moon. It was like a cat. I guess it was tiger or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
there was
tiger.
the year of the tiger.
There
yeah.
we go.
So yeah, that's kind of cool. I'd like to see a Pokemon game that starts with not fire, water, and grass maybe sometime. But,
no,
Not this time.
Always gonna be that.
You think so? I guess
it's perfectly balanced.
Yeah, it's perfectly balanced. I guess you're right. Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. So let's
That
move
was good Poke Talk.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
Poke Talk. Let's move on to what we've been playing this week. Let's start with you, Robert. You're our special guest. What video games you been playing over the last week or so?
I've been playing Okami this last week. It's
Is
a
this the
game
first time?
I have no. This is like the 4th time.
Wow.
But this will be the
love
first.
Okami.
This will be the first time I get past like the 10% mark.
Right.
I originally like rented it on GameFly for PS2. Had to return it before I got anywhere into it at all, and then I got it for the Wii.
The Wii. Yeah.
And was like, oh look, motion control, that's cool, but still, like, I think I rented it again, returned it. Then I bought it on my PC and realized my PC sucks. Like, I have like a Surface. I was like, what am I using up like all my space? And then I finally got it on Switch, and I love it on Switch. And
I really admire your dedication to
Yeah.
beating this game.
yeah. And now I play it in the mornings when there's like no deliveries at my job. So, yeah, I'm actually getting somewhere now, and I really love the game. Before
good.
this, I was playing Isaac, which I also love, but
Yeah.
you had to take a break from that every so often. And yeah,
But what are you talking about?
but
So you're playing Okami in mostly handheld, I guess?
no, I'm playing on the screen because Okami, you want to use your Joy-Cons to actually make the movements and play.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you don't use the touchscreen for
No,
that? Yeah.
Not at all.
So when you play at work,
interesting.
you play docked?
Yeah. Oh, we just got a TV at my job.
Okay.
And with Wi-Fi, and it's like a Roku TV, and it's like, oh, awesome. So I just like when I go in there like
That's a
8 in the
tight
morning,
job.
I just plug in my dock, and then at the end of the day, I take that thing back.
Does anyone get pissed that you're hogging the TV?
No, if they're like already watching something, I don't like just like sit in front of them or anything. But no, it's surprising how many people don't want to even watch TV. They would rather talk to other people. I'm like, oh, that's weird. I'm gonna play Switch now.
Oh, yeah.
You can talk to me, but I'm probably listening to something on my headphones too. So
Right,
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, great game.
that same thing how you described Okami, I've played it 3 times, and the third time I beat it.
Nice.
Like the first time was on PS2, and I got distracted by like SOCOM or something.
Yeah.
When it came out on PS2, and then it came out on Wii,
Yeah.
and then I got it I downloaded a PS2 emulator, and I own a copy of Okami, and so I played it on a PS2 emulator, and I beat it.
Oh, that was very responsible of you too.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Oh yeah, it's
To only pirate games that you own.
oh yeah. That's the way. That's who I am.
Yeah.
Can you
You're a real
tell?
good guy,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Thank you so much. But I can't kind of place it what in the gameplay where I just kind of feel like I get stuck. But there's like a point that you hit where you like feel compelled to keep going, but there's like a small, like a 10 or a 30-minute window where you're like, I'm not sure what to do. I'm not sure where to go.
It takes a long time to get the ball rolling
Yeah,
in that game.
that
It's-
first chapter
I've
is like
also
very
like
story
in the
driven.
it's a slog. Yeah,
In
yeah.
the first beginning of that game, there is just like, what was I supposed to do now? And I'm just going from like these same 2 villages, and I'm like, I don't know. And I finally figured it out this time. I was
Yeah,
like, oh.
If you
and
love
now it's just
lore,
going.
you'll love Okami.
Yeah.
I also bought that game and I'm stuck in like the first hour or so right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I'll beat it someday. But
What about you, David? What have you been playing this week?
well, I wish I had something new to tell you guys. But
No, that's all right. Tell us
been-
more about
I've
what
been
you've been
pretty much mainly slogging through Final Fantasy IX.
Slogging through it?
No, I mean that sounds bad. I've been really enjoying my time with Final Fantasy IX. Actually,
There we go.
it's funny. Like after the last episode when we were talking about it, I was like, yeah, it's got like really fun like Disney style characters and it's kind of a lighthearted story and all that kind of stuff. And then I went home that night and like and sat down and played it, and then like a whole city got destroyed and
went
all
dark.
and like all these demons came out, and the game is fucking dark, and it's like it really takes a turn, and I'm totally there for it. It's honestly I'm having a blast. Yeah, I really recommend it. And a couple of the other people in the Switch Heads group have also been playing it. So
Yeah.
I know Austin actually gave me some tips. I didn't realize how to equip summons for a really long time, and I'm like, oh shit! Now I've just been grinding.
Yeah,
through,
Patrick,
like-
you hosted a Switch Heads meetup. We
Yes.
were playing Smash, and
Yeah, that
then
was
I was
fun.
there as Austin explained how to.
David had a breakthrough that night. Of
I like
"What?
immediately pulled
What?"
out my Switch and equipped all the summons that I could.
It sucks when that happens in a game. I don't know if y'all saw that thing where there's some streamer was playing Breath of the Wild, and they like didn't realize you could side hop and like jump backwards until they were like 80 hours in.
Oh, I
And
saw
they-
that.
and they were like, "What?"
Yeah.
I think we all have that video game experience where you like beat it, and then somebody tells you something, and you're like, "You mean I could have just done that the whole
Yeah.
time?"
Yeah.
Sorry, Wind Waker locking on. I
Locking
did not
on, yeah.
realize
Oh,
you
you
could do
didn't know
that
you could Z target?
until Ganondorf.
God,
And I'm like, why
That's like
can't I-
hard mode.
Why can't I shoot the arrow off my shield and hit him? Oh, because you have to Z target.
Yeah.
Do what now? And I was like, oh wow, I
'cause
feel dumb.
that YouTube video that you're referring to, and someone is taking the tutorial of like advanced techniques in Breath of the Wild.
Right.
I don't know where that is because I've never seen that.
I think it's one of the early shrines.
I must have not have done it.
Yeah, so you missed it too.
Yeah, because I didn't know how to shield parry,
That took me forever.
and
to
I
figure
didn't
out.
know how to like shield surf. Anything involved with shield.
Yeah, there's
apparently.
like just random NPCs that tell you how to do this stuff.
Yeah, and it's real easy to miss them because you can go wherever you
Yeah,
want.
exactly.
And it's fun to just climb that next hill and not, you might, if you climb the wrong next hill, you miss it.
Just real quick, the other game that I have been playing still is Tetris 99. I've been playing a lot. We played it at your house.
Yes.
During that meetup on Sunday, and we gave a test to something we talked about in
Oh,
the previous
yeah.
episode about the Pro Controller and the D-pad, right?
Yes.
So a lot of people have been having these issues where they accidentally, in going left and right while playing Tetris 99 on the D-pad, the Pro Controller will accidentally do an up input, which does a hard drop in Tetris. I can't personally play with my Pro Controller because it has that issue. I play with like a third-party controller. But Patrick's Pro Controller
Yeah.
is somehow miraculously
I have
not,
two, and they both are
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, we did a pretty hardcore Tetris 99 test and never had any false inputs.
And I proved that I really do think there was a revision sort of secretly midway through last year because I picked them both up since then. And that doesn't mean that there aren't old ones still on the shelves. If you went to a Walmart randomly and bought one, you'd still a crapshoot, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because there could just be an old stock one that you get, or you might get a new one. And I don't know, that's just my theory because I have two that I bought that are good.
Well, what have you been playing?
I'm still playing Octopath Traveler.
Mm-hmm.
It's similar. I almost want to use the word slog too, though I enjoy it. But it is
Yeah.
these games are so long, and it's like I'm ready to talk
we were
about.
both grinding in
Yeah.
our respective RPGs as we were sobering up.
Sobering, I was like a little too drunk. So I just sit here and run some fights. But I feel like I'm getting there. There's so many characters and so much to do in that game. But I'm still enjoying that. And it's kind of similar to what you said. Austin pointed out to me that like the game did get a little darker at the end, where I was like, "Oh, these stories are so wholesome," and they took a nice left turn.
Classic
at the end.
JRPG, man.
Yeah. But also, speaking of Pokemon, I've been playing a little bit of Pokemon Let's Go with my kid because I think I told y'all the other week that I bought it to play with him, and he was just not into it. But the other day, I was like, he's 4, by the way, so I was like, "Hey, do you want to play some video games?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "What if we play Pokemon?" He's like, "All right." And we played it, and he got into it, and he's swinging the thing, and because you can play 2-player at the same time, and so
That would be great for a
I
kid.
can just control where we're going, and then he can I just let him do all the swinging, and he started like knowing the names of them and stuff because he can't read, but I would say them. And then we went to like Target and we're just killing time while my wife was returning something and flipping through those posters, that they have. And there was a Pokemon one. He's like, "Look, it's a Nidoran or whatever," and I'm like, "Yeah, you remember."
Flashcards.
Yeah. Okay. Let me know when he says Nidoran, male or female. Okay.
So that's what I've been playing. And other than the Smash at the meetup, which I actually felt like I got a little bit better.
Yeah, you were doing pretty good. Yeah, I was very proud of you.
Yeah,
There.
you and your Hadoukens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big
It was like
Ken guy.
Hadouken.
I spam the Hadoukens.
I still can't do the different Hadoukens.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, the like quarter circle input.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never played Street Fighter well enough to like know how to do those. So I was like, I still can't do them.
Yeah.
Smash.
What about you, Matt? What have you been playing?
I've been playing a Switch game.
Oh, first.
Yeah, I know. I've been playing Toe Jam and Earl.
Oh
back
yeah,
in the
you've
groove.
been in the group. You keep asking, "Is anybody going to play this game?" And it's just silent.
Yeah.
I felt bad, but I
Crickets.
didn't want to be like, "No."
Yeah, crickets across the board. If you didn't know, Toe Jam and Earl was a Sega Genesis game. And I think it was published by Sega on the Genesis, and then I think it's like Human Nature Studios. That I could be wrong with their studio name, but they bought the rights back and they published a new one in conjunction with Macaulay Culkin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, whatever his publisher name is, like Bunny Ears or something like that. But like Bunny Ears is like part of the title screen.
Cool.
And like Toe Jam and Earl Back in the Groove, it's exactly like the original Toe Jam and Earl.
That's great. Is it the same original developers and everything?
It might be some of the same people, but I'm not sure if it's all the entire developers. But it's a very fun game. It's very funky.
Can you kind of talk about like what the gameplay is like?
Yeah.
What's the mechanics?
So
What
it's
is it?
it's kind of a top-down adventure game where you are aliens, and because you played your music so loud, you destroyed your spaceship while you're traveling to Earth, and you have to find all your spaceship parts.
Okay.
And it's a procedurally generated world, so every world is
okay.
different. And you go around finding presents, and there's like items like spring shoes or speed shoes or food in these presents. It's kind of like a loot box, and you try to find all these parts, and there's like all these characters and all of these like wonderful voice acting characters. You're just trying to find stuff and trying to find your way to the end.
Is there like combat in the game or?
You can throw tomatoes at the enemies.
Okay, you're winning me over.
but it's also co-op, so you can play co-op, couch co-op, or co-op online.
Cool. Oh, cool. That's pretty rare.
Yeah, and the co-op is really fun just because it's like the world that you're in at the time. Once you separate, it'll split screen, so you can go adventure in your own area, and then when you're back on the same area of the world, it removes the split screen. It's like pretty cool tech.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds fun.
I'm also playing Apex Legends now.
Nice. All right, guys. Yeah.
That's a good app.
Good talk.
Good app,
as always, thanks to Corduroy for the music. And yeah, like David said at the beginning, shoot us an email or make a comment on our Facebook group or Twitter or something. Let us know.
We're game experts, and we would love to answer your burning questions.
Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes or whatever. And thanks for listening.
Thank you.
You can find us individually online. I'm at Monolith Fiji on pretty much everything on the internet.
Hey, on Twitter, I'm Matthew, Mathyou. Robert?
I don't have a thing. Wait, I think I'm
Robert
like
doesn't exist.
I think I'm like Sublime Lime on Instagram.
Instagram. Yeah, follow this guy on Instagram. He makes
Yeah.
good posts.
And I'm PDYX.
Yeah, once again, Robert, thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you
thanks
so
a-
much for
you're our first guest that we've had so far.
Holy shit, really?
Yeah, you did a good
Nice.
job. You
Thank
fit right
you.
in.
This was actually fun.
Yeah, that's great.
I am completely surprised.
Okay, cool. But yeah, we'll be having more guests in the future. Hopefully, we'll have some developer interviews coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, we're working on some really cool things with other devs.
Yeah. And again, shoot us an email. Give us a comment. Remember to like and subscribe on YouTube. And please, if you could, leave us a review and a rating on iTunes. We've already had a few people do that already. But we've had some pretty good reviews. I really appreciate that. Thanks everybody who's done that already.
Yeah, David is saying please, but I'm saying pretty please.
Yeah. It would be great. It really helps with visibility, and we'd love to get out there. We've been getting some great feedback on the podcast, so thanks everybody
y'all.
who's been saying all this nice things. And other than that, look us up on Spotify, YouTube, and iTunes. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.